So my line is all about Parisian, European street style. I really love the way that fashion kind of cultivates a sense of culture, and I'm moving to Paris after graduation, so I kind of wanted to pull in elements from French culture and European culture as a whole into my line.
So my line is inspired by the sexual revolution in the 1970s. I'm really drawn to that era, especially silhouette-wise.
The word that keeps coming back to my mind when I describe my line is like hauntingly beautiful. I've always loved like fairy tales, especially Disney. So I wanted to take elements of the Disney fairy tales, but also with the original darker fairy tales.
My inspiration came from the military. It would be what would they wear if they were wearing casual clothing. So it's a tough but technical but casual clothing line.
What inspired my line was when I was younger, I really loved runway fashion. And obviously, if you know anything about runway fashion, it's ridiculous. It's the extremes of what's going to be trending, and that's what really got me into fashion.
My line's theme is Americana, and Coach's 1941 collection, they just started ready to wear, and I wanted to take that and make it a little bit more personal, a little bit more sexy and fun.
My line is kind of around modern femininity, and all three of my designs are evening gowns and just providing the woman to feel confident and empowered.
So my line is upcycling men's shirts that I've thrifted and turning them into something new with the work of 3D embroidery art.
My line is inspired by primary colors and the beginning of everything. It's kind of like you're going to be able to see the threads coming into the fabric, coming into the dress.
I think the most challenging or difficult thing it has been for me personally is the construction, so it's definitely just been a learning experience.
I really wanted to challenge myself and do something really abstract, but I had to have like a reason for it, or otherwise I was just drawing weird stuff. And so when I came up with something that had meaning and purpose to me, it got a lot easier.
It's really hard like thinking about something that's in your mind and then putting it onto a piece of paper and then putting it into fabric. So I think that was the most worrisome throughout the process, but I think I'm going in a good direction.
We do a lot of trial and error, a lot of pattern making, a lot of fixing things here, taking in things here, completely starting over. So I think just kind of the beginning steps of actually making your garments was the most challenging.
First garment I ever made by myself without a pattern was a cape, and it was literally just a piece of fabric draped over my shoulders, and it had like a really crappy Peter Pan collar, but I was so excited about it.
The first garment I ever made was my freshman year here when I took construction, and I made kind of an A-line skirt, and I remember I got really excited about it and bought super nice fabric, not knowing that it wasn't going to turn out so great, but it was a fun first project.
First garment, wow. That was a while ago. I made a button-up short sleeve shirt, and I found this really cool fabric. It was a pattern of a map, and I just like mapped it out.
So we use a program in our software called Modaris that kind of helps us make all of our patterns on the computer instead of hand making them, and I much prefer that method rather than the traditional method, because you kind of build on everything we've learned throughout our time, so we get to use all of our illustration software and stuff like that, and then get to make it into final construction of garment.
I definitely think we have a really diverse background, being design and merchandising, which a lot of programs are solely design or solely merchandising. So I think it's really nice that we have both of those backgrounds that can be intertwined, and I think that's definitely going to help all of us in the real world.
A garment isn't really made overnight. It does take a long time, but I think I've learned how to manage my time really well, planning things in advance and kind of working with other classes. I think that's really helped me out.
I've learned basically everything. I've learned how to make a garment, how to merchandise it, how to sell it, how to style, how to make visual displays. Just the list goes on and on.
I'd say patience is like the #1 thing you learn being an ADM major, is you learn how to be patient with yourself and with your professors. You have to take the proper steps and be patient with yourself to do things correctly, because if you rush through them, then you'll do them incorrectly.
The professors honestly are really inspiring. They just really help you and genuinely motivate you to kind of get where you need to be, no matter what aspect of the field you're looking for.
I think I'm inspired by like any woman in my life, like especially my mom.
Yeah, I think that I would definitely dedicate my collection to my family, especially my mom and my dad. I would not be here without their love and support, and my mom listening to me cry while I make some of these garments, so definitely to my family.
I would like to dedicate my collection to my grandma, Wanda Brown. I definitely think that she really inspired me to get into sewing and to start making things. And I actually have been using her sewing machine for a lot of my projects, so definitely to her.
I want to dedicate my collection to myself because I doubted myself for about 4 years knowing that this was going to happen. And I was really nervous and really didn't think I was going to be able to do it. So the fact that I'm actually doing it, it's looking okay, it's looking pretty good.
I think I would just dedicate it to like my friends and family. Like I wouldn't be like where I am right now like without all the encouragement and support.
I would like to dedicate my collection to my mom because she's always stood behind me no matter what I've been passionate about, and she's probably the strongest woman that I know.
I would probably like to dedicate my collection to just the ADM program, honestly, as a whole, just kind of what represents it and everything.
I think every single apparel student and faculty member, they're all awesome, and everyone wants to see everyone succeed, and everyone is super encouraging and fun and friendly and passionate about what they're doing.